and welcome to another edition of Hard Copy, coming to you from our studios in Abuja. I'm Maokwe Ogun Yusuf. Tonight, I speak with Senator Chris Anyawnu, a two-time senator who's represented Imo East in Nigeria's Senate. Senator Anyawnu is a journalist, a media entrepreneur, author, and a politician. She's run for some of the most contentious seats in the country. Some she's won, others she's lost. But she's certainly not given up, as she's on the track again. On Hard Copy tonight, we hope to have a frank discussion on her experiences so far and how she hopes to proceed moving forward. Senator Chris Anyawnu, welcome to Hard Copy.
Thank you very much.
You know, when I introduced you as a politician, a media entrepreneur, journalist, I wasn't sure which one was going to come first. Which one do you say you have the most passion for?
Oh, journalism, media is my thing, actually.
It's still for you?
Yes.
So you still identify as a journalist?
Do very little journalism. I let journalism behind, but media practice, yes.
Media practice?
Yes.
So perhaps media entrepreneur then?
Yes, that is what I am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So now you're you have run for Senate before. You've seen what it's been like to be in Nigeria Senate. Now, you must be concerned about happenings around the National Assembly. As somebody who's been there before, what has been your thinking from all that you have seen, from the gale of defections, up until what we saw in the last couple of days?
The interesting thing is that I have always watched some of these things from a distance. When the defection happened, I was in Washington, and I was watching it live, and incidentally, some of my people here didn't know what was going on. And this has been a very dramatic time in our history. What happened this week was downright bizarre, honestly, because I couldn't understand it. I had never even seen SSS people dressed in that kind of, attire. It was so threatening.
Before now? I mean, you haven't seen them in hoods?
I know about some kinds of security people, some military people, special forces and all that, but not, SSS. I'd never seen them masked up like that. And what is that supposed to do? It's supposed to instill the highest of fear in the hearts of people. And I don't think that is for a democratic environment.
Well, some people say it's déjà vu. I mean, this is played out in 2014. Perhaps we did not see DSS officials in masks and things of the sort, but we have seen the gates of the National Assembly locked before. This is not the first time preventing senators or even lawmakers in general, members of the House of Representatives.
I don't think we have seen this kind of drama. Not this way. No, not this way.
Perhaps not this high.
Well,
what's the difference? What's the difference?
No, this was leading to anarchy.
Was it?
Yes.
How?
Yes. You lock up people, you mask up. What if they kill some people? It could happen. And all you would tell us is order from above. It doesn't make sense.
Well, thankfully.
Yes.
Thankfully, nobody was killed.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, you've seen the reactions afterwards. Were you surprised at the fact that, somebody has taken the fall for this? The DSS DG was fired thereafter. The acting president issued a very strong statement afterwards denouncing and saying that has no place in a democracy. Were you quite pleased with what you've seen, with the reactions so far that you've seen?
Well, let me just say that the threat to our democracy was huge. And we saw it creeping and creeping, and until it got to this point. And they have been playing with our democracy. First, it was what happened in Benue, where 7 people, tried to impeach, and the same DSS people also played that kind of role because they locked up the place and they wanted to impeach the governor, 7 people out of 30 people. And, and earlier, some people hoodlums had actually come into the chambers of Senate and taken the maze and beating people up. In my 8 years in the National Assembly, I never saw anything that approaches this. And I think that it's quite apt that the Vice President had to step in. Because indeed, if he didn't step in, as you saw people gathering, I was just afraid that people would have taking the law into their hands, because what they did was unconscionable. And I think that should actually be a lesson to DSS and all the other coercive forces, security services, including the police, because there has been a very glaring abuse of our security services, like use of police and the rest of them. And also, it's also reflective of a certain level of impunity that is evident in virtually every aspect of this government. Even tax FIRS people go arresting people in their offices instead of writing them. Every department, is taking measures that we didn't used to see in our system before.
But tax evasion, isn't that something
No,
rather
tax evasion is a solution arrest. Tax evasion, you write them, you invite them.
Isn't that a criminal offense?
It's not a criminal well, it could be, on a certain level, it could be criminal. But what I am saying is the level of impunity is too high. People taking the laws in their hands. Every department of government is taking extreme measures. And I think that what the Vice President did is to slow down that and say, look, these extreme measures, must go. Let us begin to adopt, follow the rule of law. Discuss things, argue things in a democratic setting.
So that for you is it reassuring then?
Well, it's self-redemptive, for the government itself, because they are the ones that have, gone on these extreme measures. For them, it's just a way to save their face. But for me, I think it's salutary that he gathered the courage, to do it, because after all, he was just acting, But it would have been best if the president himself had done it, I think, because a lot of these things are being done in his name. When they say order from above, I guess that's what it means.
You are not shying.
With him.